What's up, you guys? It's your boy Kel back again with another video. And for today's video, Okay, so how do I start? Okay, so if you took the time to really look at the thumbnail or read the title of the video, you could have probably guessed by now that this is a recruitment season type video. But before we get into the video, let me explain a few things. So as you guys know, when it comes to my channel, all or most of my videos are usually pre-recorded and edited and uploaded for a set date and time for them to be released due to my busy work and school schedule. For instance, I technically did not have to put this video out here because I have videos, uploaded and made and ready to go all the way up into like October 2nd or something like that. This is not one of those videos. But I say all of that to say, I want to put this video up now in current time. And what I mean by current time is that as of right now, as the recording of this video is being made May 30th. And I'm hoping to finish this video today and release it either today or next week, which will be the first Thursday of June, right? And I say all of that to say this. This video did not have to be made, and I was not going to make this video simply due to the fact that for the type of team that we are going to be recruiting in today's video, they never really cross my mind that often. They're not my favorite team, and you know that recruitment season videos are all about using my favorite characters or rearranging my favorite teams and making them my own. And even though the characters that we are going to be using today, I value them a lot, the team particularly, I never really think about them that much. For the type of team we'll be doing, they're usually not the type of team that everybody thinks of. When people think of comic book teams, they usually think about the main name ones, Justice League, X-Men, Avengers, maybe the Teen Titans, maybe the Suicide Squad, teams like that. But I want to put together this team and do this particular type of recruitment season video, particularly due to what's been happening in our comic book world, such as the movies and TV shows that have been being released. For instance, we all know within the last year or so, Marvel has been trying to get back to form. Last year we had Agatha All Along, and we've had X-Men 97 and stuff. Well, for this year we had Spider-Man, which I think that show was just amazing. But we also had Brave New World come out, and we had Daredevil Born Again. And while I made a video for Captain America, which I believe I posted already, I have not seen Daredevil yet. But I wanted to do an episode for that show just like I did with Captain America. I didn't see, I think within the Captain America Avengers recruitment season video I made, I mentioned how I didn't see the movie yet. Well, this is going to be the same thing for the Daredevil show. I have not seen the show yet, but I want to do a recruitment season type video that kind of syncs up with the show. And what I mean by that is, even though I have not seen the show, I've heard people talk about it. I've heard the reviews, I heard the results, and I heard what people are postulating, theorizing for the prospects of season 2. And I think I'm going to start doing that for each movie or show that we have come out, make a video that syncs up with them, which means I have to do one for the Thunderbolts and possibly do one for James Gunn's Superman movie. And that also means that if I decide to actually go along with this, that, of course, some of these videos are going to be late. Some of them are going to be on time. Some of them are going to be early, which leads us into the last and second thing I have to explain, which is this new format. This is going to be the new format that I have for recruitment season type videos, or at least the recruitment season type videos that I do by myself. You know, it seems that recruitment season type videos are usually fun and quick. I'm not really explaining anything. I don't have to go into a whole lot of details except why I'm using certain characters. Why go through all the hassle of looking up pictures, looking up clips, making sure I have the storage space? It was where I could just lay down a title card and talk over it for the season video. So for the recruitment season type videos, after the few ones I have, already pre-made, besides the next 2 or 3 I'm going to be adding in, that will be the new format. So with that being said, like I said, today we're going to be doing recruitment season type video, and the team that we are going to be recruiting, we are going to be putting together a team of Marvel Knights, also known as the Defenders. Now, with or without the Daredevil Born Again TV series, it was always probable that we would see the Defenders pop up in the MCU. And that's because the Defenders was a team in Marvel Comics way before Brian Michael Bendis or Netflix got a hold of them, right? Before Bendis or Netflix got a hold of the team, the Defenders were, how do I describe the team? They were a team of, well, technically characters I don't really give a damn about, but they were a team of people that handle a lot of magical problems, but I don't want to say magical problems due to the members who are on the team, but they handle like different exotic and unorthodox type of things, right? There are members on the team such as Namor, Hulk, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Valkyrie, members like that, right? But then, of course, when Brian Michael Bendis wrote the comic, Netflix took over and it became more of a street hero type of team with characters who were more of the anti-hero / vigilante type of character, right? And while we did have a team like that within Marvel Comics before they were the Defenders, they were known as the Marvel Knights. But Marvel Knights was more of an initiative, more of a branding name for certain comics, more than they were a team name. Now, even though I have not seen Daredevil Born Again, one, because I haven't seen the original series all the way. I've only seen like the first few episodes. I have heard reviews about the show. And for the most part, I heard it was pretty good. But I've heard a lot of theories about what season 2 could be about. And I know that from the end of season 1, basically Kingpin has taken over. So knowing that Kingpin has taken over, being a new Daredevil fan, comic-wise, I suppose that season 2 will be diving into the Devil's Reign comic book event, which is honestly a great comic book event. It's one of my favorite comic book events of all time when it comes to Marvel. One of my top 3, maybe top 5. So when he said he needed a team at the end of the series, we all went crazy like, yay, the Defenders are coming back, right? And we've been wanting them to come back for a long, long time. And while it would be easy to just say, okay, he's just going to bring back all the Defenders, we can't technically do that because some of them we don't know if they're confirmed to come back and reprise their roles. We don't know if there's going to be other characters he looks for. Like I said, there were characters in the show that he teamed up with, characters in the show and in the Marvel Universe as a whole that could be on the team. And there's characters that, even though I would like to put them on team, I have already put on other teams. So with that being said, we are going to play around with the characters to see who Daredevil will be recruiting. But of course, that means that we have to first get into the recruitment season rules. And the first rule of recruitment season is that no matter what team we are putting together, it has to be at least 5, but no more than 7 members. And the reason we chose this number is because usually when you look at a team of comic books, that is the number they're going for. It's a good number where you can spread people out, have them doing different missions, have them on the sideline, do whatever you need to do with the members. But it's not too little of an army, and it's not too much of an army where you get overwhelmed. The second rule is no matter who we recruit, once we recruit a member for a team that we put together, they are locked in and locked in for that team alone. No matter if they are on another team in the comics or not. If I do a recruitment season video with a friend, I have to let them know what members I've already used and what members are off the table. That way there's no confusion, which honestly is already starting to get confusing because I'll be making a team or coming up with teams I want to make, and I'll start planning the members. And it's like, wait, did I use that character already? Now I have to go back and look at my details and make a list of the members I already used and stuff. So yeah, so it's easier to, well, maybe it's not easier, but it's more challenging, which makes it more fun if we don't use the same characters over and over again. And the last rule is that on this channel, we don't do variants. I don't do the variant thing, right? The idea of the multiverse and time travel and all that, it's really complicated. It gets messy. So we don't do variants on this channel. And if we do, we don't name them as variants. We name them as individualized characters. Like, say if I use Storm, right? And I use Bloodstorm. I'm not going to say, oh, this is the variant of Storm from this dimension. No, I'm going to use them like they're two different characters. So with that being said, seeing as how it is his show and it is him who is looking to put together a team, of course that will mean that Daredevil is going to be the leader of this team, which means that technically we only have 4 to 6 more members to recruit, right? And like I said, of course we could just say, hey, let's just call back all the original Defenders, right? But we don't know exactly who is coming back except for one person, being Kristen Ritter playing Jessica Jones. And she's going to be our second recruit. And that's good because I did have a place where I wanted to put Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones has become one of my favorite female Marvel characters within the last year. But seeing that's how she's a private investigator and he's a lawyer, it's kind of like that would be perfect for the civilian roles. And her attitude and how she's also a vigilante and everything, that would just be great to just add her back on the team. And we know specifically that she is coming back for the role of Jessica Jones in the Daredevil show. Also, she was a part of the street level team of characters in the Devil Reigns comic. So, with that being said, our first 2 members are Daredevil himself and Jessica Jones. So, the other 2 members are part of the Defenders that we could look at are Iron Fist and Luke Cage. While Luke Cage was one of the main players in the Devil's Reign comic book event who ended up running against Fist, and he was one of the Defenders in the show that Daredevil and Jessica Jones worked with, and him and Jessica Jones have a relationship. They're married in the comics. They had a relationship or a fling or whatever in the TV show. Sad to say that we cannot put Luke Cage on this team because he is in a team that I have already established that has either already debuted on my channel or is coming up on my channel, but I already put him on the team. So we can't use him. Plus, we don't know if Mike Carter is coming back. We haven't heard anything per se. But the next person we could look at is Iron Fist. Okay, so let's talk about Iron Fist. Iron Fist is one character who I have no comic book knowledge on, right? I just don't. Like I said, Luke Cage, I've always known. Daredevil, always known. Jessica Jones, ever since her inception, I've known. But Iron Fist, I have no knowledge of Iron Fist within the comics. And the only, I seen him in one comic. But in the comic I seen him in, he was so bland. Actually, I seen him in a few comics. And it seems like he's just such a blah character. Like there's nothing going on with him. Um, I have more knowledge on him based off of the appearances that he made in TV shows, based off of like Iron Fist season one, a few appearances he made in the Avengers shows, and his appearances in Ultimate Spider-Man, which makes the character seem amazing. But like I said, I have no knowledge or regard for him in the comic world, which is a shame because the whole history and Kunlun and the mysticism and everything, it sounds like he would be amazing, but I just don't know much about him. But when it comes to the Defenders, none of us like Finn Jones. I'm sorry, we don't. Finn Jones, he sucked. He sucked. His acting was bad. His fight choreography was bad. When you look at Iron Fist in the comics or in the TV shows, you see Iron Fist as a zen character, someone who's stable, who's calm and collected, who's witty and fun. That was not Finn Jones' portrayal. He sucked. So if you are bringing back everybody else from the Defenders, please replace Finn Jones. But anyway, it goes, we're going to put them on this team too. One, Daredevil and Iron Fist are two members who both work with the hand. That's one. Two, we know that there is a Wakanda animated TV show that is going to go back in time, that is canon to the MCU, that they have established that Iron Fist or one of the original Iron Fists are going to be in it. So it seems that we know that Iron Fist is going to be in the show and that the show is going to be canon. Let's just say that there's also Iron Fist now, and he's going to be working with Daredevil. So even though we don't know who's going to be playing him, let's just put Iron Fist on his team now. So that means now we have three members. We have Jessica Jones, Danny Rand, Iron Fist, whoever is going to be playing him, and we have Daredevil himself. So what other members could we possibly see Daredevil work with? Well, of course, we can always say he worked with Frank Castle, the Punisher, but I have already pulled Frank Castle for another team, so he's off the table. There's always Elektra, but last time we see Elektra in Defenders, she died. And Elektra's more of a mercenary, and she's more of a person who doesn't really care about protecting and everything. She's out for money, and she thinks the whole heroism thing is kind of garish. So we're not going to say Elektra either. But what other people could we say? Well, I say we could pull Shang-Chi, right? I have no knowledge on Shang-Chi from any animated show or comic book. My first time ever knowing about Shang-Chi was from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings movie. And the movie's pretty good, right? And Shang-Chi, it was good. He was a great martial artist, great character, right? But it's a character that's not on my radar. And it's a character that, if you are going to use him, like I said, characters like him, I don't see putting on the Avengers. People say he could be on Sam's Avengers team or Captain Marvel's Avengers team, whatever. I don't like that on a team like this. But I feel like he would be a great fit to be on a street level team. So let's put him with Daredevil, right? So Shang-Chi is going to be our fourth member. So then there was four, which means we have three remaining possible slots to be filled. And how shall we fill them? Well, it seems that the last few members that we have chosen, we pulled from MCU direct canon things. I say we continue to look at the MCU itself. And the first place we're going to stop is Daredevil Born Again itself, right? In Daredevil Born Again, White Tiger appears. Now, White Tiger is a character I'm interested in, but according to the White Tiger that is in the show, that White Tiger, I believe, is Hector. I am only familiar with Ava Ayala, the current White Tiger. So I don't want to pull White Tiger, seeing that I'm pretty sure White Tiger is still Hector within the show. And I have used for Ava in another place. And I don't know if Daredevil will be okay with putting Ava on his team, since that she's so young. So we're going to skip White Tiger. But another place we could look at, let's look at Moon Knight, because Moon Knight is a street level character, but Moon Knight has the same problem for me that Iron Fist has. And that is, I have no regard for this character. It's not that I don't have any regard for this character, but I have even less knowledge about him than I do about Iron Fist. Okay, I don't want to say knowledge. I have knowledge of who Moon Knight is or what his deal is, but I've never seen him in the comic, like, at all. And I've only seen him in like 2 episodes of anything. And I have not seen the show at all. So while I could put him on the team, I don't want to, and I'm not going to, simply because I don't have any context for him. And also because even though he's a street level character, according to the insider, apparently he's going to end up on some type of magical, mystical team within the MCU, possibly a Midnight Suns team or whatever. So we're not going to use Moon Knight either. So Moon Knight's off the table, Punisher's off the table, Luke Cage is off the table, Elektra's off the table, and so is White Tiger. But that doesn't mean that we have to stop, because there is another character that is in the MCU right now that is a new character, and it seems that she is going to be a mainstay, and that is Zelena Belova, aka the White Widow. And even though we know that she's going to be a part of the Thunderbolts movie, I don't really feel like she fits that team, because that team is more for villains trying to be heroes, or villains trying to reform themselves, or whatever the case may be. She's never really been a villain. She's always been just, an anti-hero or a hero without a team, without a place. So I don't really think Thunderbolts is a good fit for her. But I do think that because she's a widow and she's a martial artist who doesn't really have evil intentions or whatever, and she does seem like she wants to put things right in the world, this will be a good fit for her. And I do have some knowledge of her within the comics. In the comics, she's known to be not the sister of Natasha. That's a whole different thing. She's an opposing widow. Sometimes she's called Crimson Widow. Sometimes she's called White Widow. I prefer her as the Crimson Widow. It just sounds better. But sometimes she's an enemy. Sometimes she's a friend. But according to the MCU, she is the sister, the friend. And like I said, she's more of a hero, anti-hero type of thing. So I feel like she'll be a good fit for this role. So we're going to put her on this team as well. So the next person we're going to pull that is MCU canon, or at least related to the Daredevil series and Defenders, I want to pull Misty Knight, all right? I want to pull Misty Knight. Misty Knight has always been a character I've been interested in. One of the few female black characters who is actually pretty interesting. In her role in Luke Cage, when she was played by Simone Missick, she was really good, really interesting. And as a police woman, she has connections, even if she does get kicked off the police force because of her arm like they do in the comics. She's a martial artist. I feel like she would be a good fit. Like I said, she was amazing in Luke Cage and in Defenders. So I want to put her on this team as well. So that means now we have 6. We have Daredevil. We have Jessica Jones. We have Iron Fist. We have Shang-Chi. We have Misty Knight. And then we have Crimson Widow or White Widow, aka Yelena Belova. So we can stop here where it's 6, but I really don't like keeping it at 6. I like making it an even number. Well, not an even number, but an even 7. So we have one more person to look at. And this person is not in the MCU yet. The person I want to choose. Anyway it goes. The person I am referring to, I want to pull Black Cat. One of my favorite Spider-Man supporting characters. I want to pull Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. One, even though Felicia Hardy is a cat burglar. She does have a moral code. She doesn't want to kill. She doesn't want to create chaos. She's just looking for adventure and fun. And I really want to see her in the movies. And she wasn't in Spider-Man Far From Home, Homecoming, On the Way Home. Was it in Amazing Spider-Man? I'm waiting for Black Cat. And there's been speculations or fan castings for Anna Taylor-Joy to play her, which I am down for. If they're not going to recast her as Magic, which I think she can also do, shoot, cast her as Black Cat. I feel like any one of those roles, either one, will be perfect for her. But I'm going to put Black Cat on this team because she's also a street level character. And I feel like even she will have a problem with what Kingpin is doing. So she's going to be the next member on the team that I recruit. So with that being said, let's go back over who we have. Of course, we have Daredevil leading the team, followed by Jessica Jones, followed by Iron Fist, followed by Shang-Chi. We also have Misty Knight. We have Black Cat, and we have Crimson Widow. Who's going to be my second in command? I have no idea. I'm going to say Misty Knight because of her connections to the police and everything, because she has more structure and more of a guidelines that she follows more than everybody else does. And I forgot to mention, just like Jessica Jones and Daredevil, Iron Fist and Misty Knight were also part of the street level characters within the Devil Reign comics. So that's another reason I chose them, especially Iron Fist, because if it wasn't for that and wasn't for his connections to Daredevil as it is, I probably would have just left him alone and kept this at 5 characters. But yeah, guys. So those are my defenders. Those are going to be the defenders that I want to see, or that I'm just going to put together. Hopefully we get all of these. We know that Yelena Belova is probably not going to happen because she's in Thunderbolts. Shang-Chi, possibility, maybe. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, for sure. Misty Knight, maybe if they bring her back. And maybe Iron Fist and Black Cat, like I said, I don't think so, but I would like to see it. But anyway, it goes. Those are my defenders. Let me know who you would like to see on the defenders team. What you thought about Daredevil Born Again? Do I really have to watch Daredevil Born Again after the first Daredevil series, or can I just jump into Daredevil Born Again? Y'all let me know in the comics. But anyway, it goes. Y'all know what it is. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Deuces.